Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the September 3rd of 2019 Our City Show. We are here in the mayor's office at the Muscatine City Hall. Cannot believe it's September already. This year is flying by like crazy. We just finished celebrating Labor Day. We had a really nice time, my family out camping, playing with the grandkids. My grandson Ethan decided he could start the fire by rubbing two sticks together. He worked feverishly. Unfortunately, it took a match to get that fire started. But we had a really good time. I hope all of you did too. You know, I think Labor Day really is a time for us to pause and not just do all the family things that we always think about Labor Day and having that extra Monday off right after the kids go back to school, but really to thank all of our predecessors for the things that they have done in the labor movement that has brought us to this point. We have 40-hour work weeks. We have health insurance through our employers. We have job safety that we can count on. We have all kinds of things that we have as employees to be grateful for those that came before us that fought for those things. And so I hope all of you had a wonderful Labor Day also. Right before Labor Day, I went out to Quick Star, which is owned by Quick Trip, and did a ribbon cutting ceremony with them. They graciously gave $1,000 to both our fire department and our police department. It's a wonderful little gas and convenience store across from Menards and next to Culver's. Wonderful little store there. I have heard nothing but good things about it. Everybody's kind and friendly, and the store's clean, and everybody is just happy. And I've heard, although I haven't tried it yet, that their donuts are amazing. Their chicken is amazing. And so if you have an opportunity to get out and grace their store, please do so. Now I would like to have you help me welcome our first guest tonight. We have Brian Wright with us, and he is the Muscatine County Emergency Manager. Welcome, Brian.
Thank you very much, Mayor.
Hey, I'm so glad you came. It was so fun being on the team that helped bring you to this position in Muscatine. I know you've been a firefighter in Muscatine for how many years?
36.
Oh my goodness, 36 years. And now you're our emergency manager.
Yes.
So can you tell me how long you've been, it hasn't been a year yet? Or close to it?
Next month it'll be 1 year.
Next month will be 1 year. Oh, yes. Great. So you've been through a lot in this year. Tons of training, right?
Tons of training. There's requirements to become certified, and pretty much I'm looking to probably try and get it done by next month, within my year.
Which is a pretty big feat.
Yes.
Besides handling floods and all
Yes.
the other crises you've done.
I'm actually given 2 years to complete it, and it's been my goal to try to get it as soon as possible.
Great. So it's not like you can just jump right into being an emergency manager. There really is criteria involved and hoops that you have to jump through and standards that you have to meet, right?
Yes. We're part of the process is I need to apply for federal grants through FEMA.
Okay.
It's called an EMPG. Pretty much it's half of my salary for these grants. So ironically, when I started last year, I had a week before that was due, and it was your EMPG's due. What's an EMPG? So a lot of the on-the-job training.
Oh, sure it is.
Going through it, so it's been interesting.
Sure. So where's your office at?
My office is at the county administration building.
Okay.
It's located in the lower level.
So can people just in the county, can they call you? Can they talk to you? Can they ask you questions?
Absolutely, they can call me. My number is 563-288-3909.
Okay.
And
email?
Email is brian.wright@co.muscatine.ia.us.
Oh yeah, that's one of those fun ones to try to remember, right?
Yes.
So what kind of things does the emergency manager do?
One of the goals, and you as being one of my commissioners is you wanted me to be available to the public.
Mhm.
So most times, barring that I have any training or classes, I'm in my office for the public between 8 and 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm just located outside of the treasurer's office, and most times you'll see there's a sign on it that says manager in or out. So,
Mhm,
you
mhm.
know, it's always that ability. You know, I've had people call on the phone. A lot of times they get the inquiries, I can't hear the sirens going off inside my house.
Sure.
Well, and that's one thing is to remember it is an outdoor warning system. So
Mhm.
basically it's warning people outside to seek shelter.
So it's not like you should, because I've had people call me before as mayor and say, I can't hardly hear the alarms going off in my house, so they need to work on them. And I try to explain, like you just said, they're mainly for if you're out doing yard work or working out in the field somewhere and you couldn't hear
Right.
the radios or what have you. In the house, you assume people have the TV or the radio on.
Absolutely.
When they're out in the yard, maybe not so much.
And the best thing to do that, and there was just on an example on the screen, the Alert Iowa,
Mhm.
and we do have that for Muscatine County. You can sign up for that, and it will give you a Muscatine County alert. You can pick what you need
Uh-huh.
to know about. So
And then what, it texts you?
yeah,
and
you
isn't that handy?
you get a text. So it's just a means of doing that. Another thing is buying a weather radio.
Mm-hmm.
I have a weather radio at my house. I have one in my office.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times I get more heads up by the National Weather Service. I will get a phone call saying,
Mhm.
hey, there's something, be advised.
Sure.
Or they'll give
Sure.
me some
Mhm.
situational reports.
Right. So people need to be on guard for bad weather. That's one of probably the most common emergency we're going to have around here, I would assume.
Yes.
Okay, is bad weather, like flooding, like a tornado, those kinds of
Correct.
things. Okay.
And that ties into this month is National Preparedness Month.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of websites that we have on that would be convenient for everyone to just review. It's like on the fire department when we would always go and talk about fire drills
Mm-hmm.
or have 2 ways out, practice this. And we'd always hit the schools pretty good, and the kids would come back and they would teach mom and dad
Sure.
a lot of the things. So
Sure.
it's just something to be aware of. Be aware of your surroundings.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
So September is National Preparedness Month.
yes.
So that's basically your time. The kids have just went back to school. Fall's setting in. Labor Day's over.
Yes.
It's time for us to pay attention. Okay, winter's going to be coming. How are we going to get out if there's a fire? What are we going to do if this happens, if that happens? What kind of things do we have to make ready to be prepared?
Right.
And hopefully you never ever have to use them, but just know it, even in your car, right?
Right. The key is be prepared by having supplies at home. Have
Sure.
supplies at work.
Mhm.
You might not get that opportunity to go home. You might have to take off from work. Have things in your car. Teach your children information where they might be in school or they might be at a sports event and something happens. Have a contact person in another community so they can relay, or have, as we used to talk in the fire department, you'd have a meeting place outside if there was a fire. So you would
Sure.
go and learn that and just practice and be aware.
Right.
That's the key, is be aware,
Be aware.
make a plan, become involved. And there are a couple websites that are very good. Ready.gov.
Ready.gov.
Mhm.
This is what it brings you to? Iowa Disaster.
That's Ready Iowa.
This is Ready Iowa,
yeah,
okay. And then there's one ready.gov.
Yes.
Up top, I see it. And so plan ahead for disasters. You know, I was thinking one of the disasters that happened I can't believe it's going to be 18 years ago that 9/11 happened, but the anniversary is coming up next week. And I remember that day how everybody was in such of a turmoil and rushing to the stores to try to grab everything and things that you would think that people already had. So I think, is that part of the plan to stop some of that chaos if everybody has a certain amount of items on hand?
Right.
Go to your own home, stay
Right.
where you're at.
I was at the Central Station the day of the attacks, and I can recall when they had the convenience store there and the line that they had
Yeah.
for gas, and it was just that reaction of something's happening.
People thought we would never get gas again, so everybody
Right.
was.
So that's where you take that and be prepared ahead of time. What happens when I have a tornado or this? You know, do I have medications? Have I addressed special needs, the elderly, those who are handicapped, based on that? So it's just looking at stuff. The websites give a great examples of a lot of the disasters and just things to ask and things to think about, and just be prepared.
Things you might not even think about ahead of time.
Right. For instance, the flooding that we had this year, it affected areas, pretty much people that were living along the river. But the significance is we were above flood stage for at least 99 days. That's unprecedented. In all my years, and I've lived here all my life, I've never seen that much flooding
Last that long. Sure.
And ironically, I can say I had the 3rd, 5th, and 8th historic crests on the Mississippi as the Muscatine County Emergency Manager. And it was...
In your first year.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yes. I've
Here
taken
you go,
that
jump
out.
right into the deep end.
Well, and what's successful is I have a presidential disaster declaration for Muscatine County. So that's...
Yes, it is.
That is something that's...
It's very helpful.
I'm proud of, because it is a way for cities and the county and individuals to get money back into the county and save the taxpayers' money.
Recoup some of those losses.
Yes.
Because they're awful. You know, some of the people, the things that they have went through, and the amount of economic loss that they've had.
Right.
So this is because you were able to get that declaration, that's going to make them eligible, which is huge for our people. Yeah.
Most times you don't get presidential declarations. I know
Sure.
the community of Marshalltown, when they got hit with a tornado, didn't qualify. So I'm pleased that I was able to get this, and you know, it helps departments here in Muscatine, the city departments.
Oh, sure it does.
And it helps others, and go from there.
Yep, that's right. So you help us get prepared, certainly, for National Preparedness Month in September. You help make sure that you're having us ready for any kind of the problems that might come up. You keep us apprised of all the weather things. What else does the emergency manager do?
I've gone to a lot of training and around the area. There's classes on critical infrastructure courses. I've completed 1 out of the 4. I have another class next week, and after that I'll be certified for a critical structures, infrastructures.
So is that like a building collapsing?
Well, it's looking at things that can happen to utilities. It's identifying the threat hazards, what's the significance. For instance, let's say, and I cross my fingers, what if we had a levee break here during the flood?
Sure.
We have probably 30,000 acres of Muscatine County that would be involved. And you look at, well, what are our critical infrastructures that we have?
Sure.
You know,
You're thinking the hospital, the
Well,
okay, Muscom, we have the mobile Muscom if we had to.
let's say, well, back in 1993, 2008, Des Moines had flooding. They lost their wastewater treatment plant.
Sure.
Other things
That
that
kind
are
of
an
things,
inconvenience.
things that we need, critical things.
Essential items that are
For the safety of the community.
facilities that help the city.
Yep. So you study those kinds of things as well. Okay. And so, how long have we had an emergency manager?
Well, I can recall the emergency manager when I started in 1982 at the fire department. He was located down in the basement of the public safety
And was
building.
he a full-time job then?
Uh,
And who did he work for the city or the county? I think he worked for the county, didn't he?
yeah, I think it was.
I wouldn't swear to it though.
I can remember.
It's evolved, hasn't it?
Yes, it has. I choose to be more proactive
Sure.
and try to get involved. Granted, it's something that, I didn't have the former emergency manager there to kind of show me things.
Sure.
So it's learning.
You had to create your own way,
Yes,
find your
yes.
way. And so are you available to school classes or nonprofit organizations to come and talk to them? And
I certainly can be.
I'm thinking of with it being the Be Prepared month, I think that would be something that everybody needs to know. I know you said they're working with the students, but certainly making sure that families have all that they need to be prepared. And a smoke alarm is fabulous, but there's more to it than just a smoke alarm.
Right.
And so I think if we can stretch that a little bit farther and make sure that we're all prepared. And unfortunately, we have to be prepared for things like violence as well in our world today, not just natural disasters.
And the ready.gov, this is a source of information.
Okay, so everybody should go check out ready.gov.
Yes, I strongly suggest that. And there is the Iowa version of it. There's also floodsmart.com, I believe. That's, look at what's happening with your area around flooding.
Sure.
Yes, we live along the Mississippi. You live along the Cedar River. Those happen. But just have that, because a lot of people, you need to have insurance.
Oh, yeah.
That's something where a lot of people will, the water's coming up. And as I said, we didn't expect to have over 90 days of continuous above flood stage.
No. So ready.gov, and it'll tell us a bunch of different things that we need to do to be prepared, to be ready in a natural disaster, because unfortunately we can't stop them all.
Right.
But we can make their effect at least a little bit more minimal for our families, for our city.
And it was like the polar vortex. We never expected to see temperatures get that low, and I was working to make sure I had communities that were having a warming location. And,
Sure.
And, the concerns with that, that was shortly just after I'd started, so 3 or 4 months I'm trying to make sure that we have areas, and we did have some very good turnout with shelters, and fire departments would open up in case something happened.
Yeah.
Because what happens if your furnace goes out during that period? There's a plan.
Sure.
You need to have a plan, and
They're saying we're going to have another winter like last winter.
I hope not, but
Farmer's Almanac, that's what they're saying.
I was at an ISAC conference in Des Moines last week, and the state climatologist was giving a report, and the director of Iowa Homeland Security goes, well, that's not the cheery outlook that we want. So we're talking more rain in the fall and an earlier spring. So
Sure. It seems to me like over the last 10 years or so, summer or winter's been starting later but ending later too. Like it's shifted a little bit later. I remember, it used to be a lot colder on Thanksgiving than it has been recently. And
that's just recent climate trends, the
Sure,
30-year.
sure.
There's weather goes in
Uh-huh.
cycles, and
Yep.
you know, you don't really realize how significant it is, you know, El Nino and
Right.
how they can contribute to
The
it.
difference and the impact that can leave. If anything, the polar vortex from last year taught us to be prepared, because nobody wanted to stop at the grocery store on the way home every night. You wanted to get as much as you could so you could just go straight for the door and get back in the warm.
I jokingly got a call from one of my friends who lives in Texas, and at the time he worked for the Texas Department of Public Safety, and
Uh-huh.
he was commenting about, hey, you've left the front door open, it's cold down here. So when the polar vortex is going
Oh,
that
yeah.
far down,
You know it's cold.
that is cold.
That's right. That's right. And you want to be prepared, freezing pipes, you know, have blankets in your cars, all those things. But ready.gov, that'll set us up.
Yes.
All right. And anybody can call you, or they can stop into your office most mornings between 8 and 10. You're located in the county administration building across from the courthouse, down on the lower level. You can take an elevator down, or you can walk down, either way you want to go.
Yes.
Or they can email you,
Or
be right.
Or the other thing that they can do is just go right to the administrative secretary.
Oh,
and-
sure,
and
sure.
She can call
Yep, yep.
down, and I can come up.
And you can come on up,
Mhm.
meet up somewhere up there, send you an email, phone call, and get a bunch of information from you, and help us all be better prepared.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Brian.
Thank you, Mayor.
Anything I forgot to ask you? Anything you wanted to remember to tell me for the folks at home to know? Nope?
Nope.
Well, if you do, give me a call. So everybody get to beready.gov and get prepared for National Preparedness Month. Very good.
Absolutely.
Thanks for coming, Brian.
Thank
Hey,
you.
and thanks for all you do behind the scenes, making sure that you are looking out for us and being prepared in an emergency should it come up. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, we're going to transition to our next guest, and while we're doing that, I have a ton of save the dates for you. We have so much going on in our city, as always, and we're lucky to have it. But we've got to remember when they all are. So the first one you'll see coming up here in just a second should be the Community Block Party, which is Friday night at Discovery Park from 5:30 to 7:30. And it's our 10th annual. I can't even believe it. I mean, just like I can't believe it's going to be 18 years since 9/11. Time just goes by so quickly. But the 10th annual Community Block Party at Discovery Park, 5:30 to 7:30 Friday night. Don't have to sign up ahead. Come on up. Bring your friends, bring your family, bring your kids. Hot dogs, chips, orange drink, snow cones, popcorn, everything at no cost. And you'll have a great time. I guarantee it. Next, this is also coming up the Swamp Stomp. This is the second Swamp Stomp. I can hardly ever say that. Hannah Howard does a wonderful job with that. It's at Arden Creek on 9/22, September 22nd at 1 p.m. Oh, I'm sorry, it's the third annual. So from 1 to 6 at Arden Creek. It is a ton of fun. They have so many animal creatures and all kinds of activities going on. Bring the whole family out for that as well. Next is the Harvest Fest on September 11th from 5 to 7. This is the time when the community gardens, they're all getting together and harvesting the community gardens. 5 to 7, they're going to have raffles, they're going to have yard games. It's a great family event sponsored by Extension, Iowa State University Extension, and all kinds of other things. There will be food available, fresh fruits, vegetables. The Community Foundation has provided most of the funding for this event. Next, the second Sunday concert series. There'll be one more after this, so you better get out quickly. The Anson Brothers are going to be playing at the library at 6 p.m., and that is going to be on Sunday, September 11th. So you're not going to want to miss that. No, I'm wrong. Get me to the right one. Sunday, September 8th, Anson Brothers. It'll be a good time. It's at the library, and usually the music always starts right at 6. They have it rain or shine. Sometimes they have it outside. If the weather looks yucky, they'll bring it on inside, but it's a wonderful event downtown at the library. Next, Almost Friday Fest, September 26th. This will be the last one for the season. Joey Pete is going to be playing from 5 to 8. I'll be driving a golf cart around again. It's a ton of fun. I love, love, love it. It's always on the 4th Thursday, and this was the first year. They did June, July, August, and this will be the last one, September 26th. Ton of fun. If you haven't been to one yet, you're not going to want to miss it. And lastly, the second Saturday, only wait, it's going to be the third Saturday this year, because it's going to be with Over the Edge, and that's who we're going to talk to next. Lindsey Phillips. She is the director of Big Brother Big Sister, and she is 1/3 of those who is putting on Over the Edge. Thanks. Welcome. Hey, you just came from something.
You know, we probably shouldn't talk about it because it was canceled.
Oh, no!
So, yes, but it's demo week at the Y.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff.
So I was going to go to boot camp and find out if I was boot camp material.
Yeah.
I'm probably not, but
so because it was
try.
canceled, maybe that is a sign.
I said that. This is the sign I should not exercise.
There you go.
But no, I'm going to try Thursday.
Okay.
So
they had to cancel it tonight.
So the session is actually going, usually it's 2 evenings a week. This session, they're going down to 1 evening a week. So it'll be on Thursday evenings. If you're interested in boot camp, you can still come to that, 5:30 to 6:30. So it will be prorated to 1 class instead of 2.
Okay.
So the cost will be reduced. It'll look a little different than what's in that program. But
that's all right.
Join me Thursday.
There you go. You're going to try.
Oh, next Thursday.
Not this week.
It's family night in the school district. So if you have kids in school, you're probably at.
So we better do it on one. It is so hard to find a date in Muscatine that is not swamped with stuff already.
Yes.
And that's a good thing. But that's fun.
Yeah.
Because, you know, every event doesn't appeal to every family.
True.
So have a whole bunch and people can pick the ones that they want to do. That's right. Well, we're glad that allowed you to be able to come here anyway.
Yes.
And talk about Over the Edge.
And not with sweaty
and
hair.
not with sweat coming off of you. There you go.
So
Over the Edge, tell us about it.
Yeah, so September 21st, you just said, we are going to be rappelling over the edge of the Stanley Consultants Laurel Building, so on the corner of 2nd and Iowa. Yeah, that's right, 2nd and Iowa. I almost moved up a block. We have about 60, a little more
60,
people that
wow.
are signed up. Now they have to hit their $1,000 goal.
That's true.
So you can see the website too on this flyer is overtheedgemuscatine.com. If you want to get on and help somebody get closer to their goal, I encourage you to do that because they're all really going to be in
scrambling.
Mode.
They're going to be scrambling.
Yes. So on that day then, the rappellers will be going over the edge from about 11 a.m. to 5 p.m.
On a Saturday.
On Saturday, yes.
Okay.
So there will be things to do. Some of our littles are going to be down there serving lemonade shake-ups, just like the fair. So
cool.
You can come down for a glass of lemonade and watch the individuals go over the edge.
And second Saturday will be joining. It's a collaborative.
Yes. So their event will start at 4 o'clock. There's also going to be a memorial bike ride going on that same day. So there will be live music in the street starting at about 4 o'clock as well on Iowa.
So it's going to be a busy day. So Iowa Avenue, don't try to even go on Iowa Avenue.
Well, everybody try to come on it. Just park a little farther away.
But don't try to think you're going to drive on it.
Right.
Yes.
Please don't drive on it.
So 60 people, how long does it take for them to all get over the edge?
So it just depends. About 12 people can go over each hour. There are 2 ropes, so you'll go 6 on each rope during the hour, or over the hour.
So about 5 hours.
Yeah, so there will be constant rappelling from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. And the reason it has to end at 5, it'd be great if we could coordinate with the later activities that are going on, but they have to have daylight to make sure that all of their equipment functions properly and they can see what they're doing. Safety first for sure. So yeah, we have a lot of people that are going over. It should be fun.
So did you do it last year?
I did it last year.
Yes. Are you doing it this year?
I'm doing it again if I can meet my goal.
Oh, you're one of those scramblers.
I am definitely
who may be writing your own check.
A scrambler this year, for sure. Yes. My little sister is going over the edge as well, and she hit up everybody that I was going to ask.
She hit me up. She hit me up.
She is phenomenal. She has raised almost $2,000 on her own.
Oh, isn't that
she's
great?
doing fantastic. Yes, she's very excited and nervous, I think.
So There must not be an age limit.
There is not an age limit.
See, that surprises me.
Right. There is a weight limit to make sure that you can sit comfortably. And it really is more for comfort and to make sure that you go over safely. But they've assured us that their equipment would, properly put someone over the building of any size, really. But there is weight restrictions for comfort. So parent permission and signed waivers, and you do not have to be an adult.
I would have really thought you would have. So can people still sign up?
They can still sign up. Yep, you can. So you would just go to that website, the overtheedgemuscatine.com, and you can sign up right on there.
Okay.
It gets a little challenging to raise that much, money in such a short amount of time. But so actually, though, the little that I was talking about, she raised her money in like 4 days.
Yeah.
So if you're on top of it and you're asking people, it all adds up way quicker than you would think.
Oh, it does.
So I'm not scrambling too much yet.
Yes, but you will be. Well,
I
my
might
brother
be.
asked me, he's like, what do you, I said something about over the edge. He said, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, they're going over the, and I think we were eating at Booney's. And he said, that right over there? I'm like, yeah. And he said, I want to do that. And I said, well, you can.
Did you grab the little table tent that's on the table? And you're like, right here.
Yeah. You might have to write your own $1,000 check. He said, well, that'd be worth it because I want to do it. I'm like, well.
All right, what's his name? We're putting him on there. He's going over.
I told him, I said, I will check and verify, but I'm sure
absolutely.
you can still get in, so you're not capped out yet.
We are not capped out.
Got to be getting close, though.
So we could actually send 96 people over.
96.
Or 92. I think it's 92, 96.
Wow.
One of those even numbers. So
as long as you can do them in that 6 hours, right?
Well, then we would just start earlier.
Oh, so you could just
we
start.
have a little bit of flexibility in there because we account for like media, anybody that would want to go over for those purposes. So there's a little bit of flexibility now that the time would not change if we add a few more. But the more we add, we would just start earlier. And that's fine because we have a lot of volunteers that will be there training the day before. So they could be ready to go as early as 9 a.m.
Oh,
if we
wow.
need to.
So you could squeeze more in, which brings us to why we want all those people doing this.
Exactly.
Because it's bringing funds to
Big Brothers Big Sisters, Special Olympics, and the Chamber, GMCCI. So all of those funds stay right here working on special projects, matching youth in the community with a mentor, and then, of course, funding the Special Olympics programs and the athletes and what they have going on throughout the year. So lots of good things. Round up to Rappel right now. So if you're shopping at Hy-Vee, tell them at the cash register that you want to round up. And all of those proceeds will go directly to Over the Edge.
So if your bill is $100.62, you can round up to $101.
Sure, yes. Yep.
There you go.
And if you want to put your own amount on that, you can.
Round up to $110.
Exactly. Hy-Vee will match up to the first $400 that are rounded up. So that's also really exciting.
That is.
And then hopefully we'll have enough money in that pot that we can give away a Rappel. So that's the plan. So the more people that donate, the more likely that somebody gets to go over the edge from those funds. So yes.
How will you choose that person?
Well, when you round up, Hy-Vee knows you're shopping there.
That's true.
So it will automatically generate the list, and then there will be a random.
And so you will pick from the people that round up.
Right.
That's the pool you're going to pick from.
So and if you don't want to go over, that's okay. Your money still helps great organizations and stays right here in town. And then you could gift the Rappel, or they could draw again, or we could work that out.
Sure.
So yes.
Or you could give it to somebody in your family.
Right. So don't not donate.
Don't not donate because you don't want to go over the edge.
How many
That's right.
can we fit in this under?
I know.
Donate no matter what.
Donate no matter what. That's right. And I think that's what's really cool about this event too, is that you would think that some of this money would stay here and some would go away.
Right.
But that's not the case.
No.
All the money that is raised is staying right here.
Right.
For the Big Brother Big Sister program, Special Olympics, helping people that have a disability be able to still participate in sports, matching youth with a good, responsible mentor to help them become a responsible citizen as they grow up, and the Chamber, which does our 4th of July parades and the different events. So that's Awesome.
And the reason we can really say, because obviously an event like this is expensive to bring to Muscatine, right? We're bringing in an outside company that is going to make sure that everything runs smoothly. They do a fantastic job. Anybody that's going over is going to leave saying that was one of the best experiences because they're professional, it's organized, they know exactly what they're doing.
Sure.
So the reason that we get to do that is if you pull that flyer back up, all of our sponsors across the bottom, they want every dollar that somebody in Muscatine raises and does the legwork for to stay here too. So they have sponsored this event to cover all of those additional outside costs.
Okay,
And
well maybe we can see that flyer again and give them a little credit because, so they have paid this company to come in and do this so that the money we raise stays here.
Essentially, yes. So we've collected sponsorship so that that money then allows us to bring it in. And of course, the goal is to cover those costs and then much more so that we can keep more money here too for our programming and provide direct service. It's definitely the goal.
Absolutely.
But, and the community has come together amazingly. But then just our top sponsors, looking at them, Stanley Consultant, Kent, Musco, Bridgestone, all of those individuals are also then sending people over the edge. H&I is a silver sponsor, so they're not actually granted a rappel for their sponsorship, but they're going to be sending almost, I think, 11 people over from internal fundraising.
Oh, that's
so they
great.
make a huge deal of this, and their support is unbelievable. Just as far as how they get their members involved, and then of course Stanley Consultants. We literally could not have the event without them. So they are amazing. They serve on one of the planning committees. They are part of the process for the entirety.
And they've been on board from day one last year. And really we couldn't do the event without them.
No,
we need them. And the way they have stepped up to be able to help allow this fundraiser to keep that money right here.
Well, and as a platinum sponsor, it just shows their commitment to Muscatine and the programming that we do, and how they can impact multiple organizations at once is really the goal here, and, and why it's such a good partnership. So yes, they are amazing.
Look at that, $56,600 so far raised.
So far, yes.
And is that just what has been raised through or is it all going
That's a combination.
Through? So it all goes online?
Yes.
So people aren't taking $5 bills?
No, you can. So this is a combination of those that have already been turned into us.
Oh, okay.
So there are definitely people that are fundraising that we have not seen a dime of that yet.
So that'll all come later.
The scenes. Yeah. So, and offline donations do not have to be recorded on this. Here goes, is Chad making a donation right now? But you can see, yes, go big, Chad. No, we can log the donations that are made offline so that you can see that total grow, but you don't necessarily have to. So definitely up to you.
That's great.
On how you do that,
That is, and I think it's helpful that you can go online and just, we've all become so accustomed to sitting in our recliner and shopping. We can also sit in our recliner and do good.
And make donations. And this will give you a tax-deductible receipt right away. You're good to go. You don't have to worry about things. It's right there. And in your email, so you don't even have to keep track of a piece of paper.
Isn't that nice? And so then, or you could do it a different way and just give cash. Or write a check.
Yes. Yep. And if you know who that edger is, but you're not going to see them, you can mail the money to the YMCA and then just make note that what edger it's for, and we'll get that logged and documented for you. Right.
And if you are a real big procrastinator and you're going over the edge and you haven't collected a penny, you can write a check your own self for $1,000 and go over the edge.
You can, yes. So I'll be calling myself and Jason with Special Olympics. We're going to be calling people in the next week as they hit that goal and saying, what time would you like to go over? So that you get first pick. Them and our sponsors get first pick on when they're going over the edge. So we'll be scheduling that in the next week or so. Now, if we call you and you're one of those people that you're like, I'm just going to write the check, you can tell us, I'm going to bring the $1,000 day of, and that's completely fine. We just need to know that ahead of time. Otherwise, we may not schedule you to rappel on that day, and that's just because we have to keep things moving so that we don't have gaps in who's showing up.
Yeah. So will you and your little go over together?
We will, yes. We're going to go over at the same time. I know, she says, we're going to have to hold hands the whole way down. Well, we can't. They do keep you separate so that you're not like bumping into each other. So we're both going to be shaking a little bit, I think, as we're... Yes. And I did it last year, and it really is... they do excellent training with you and you feel comfortable, but you have to learn to trust yourself because you do control your own lever, which gives you the speed. Now, if you completely chicken out, which is completely possible, that I can't even pull the lever myself, there are people that can lower you to the ground. So you really...
It's not like even if you froze, you're never getting down.
No, they can definitely... There are like 3 different backups, on this rope. So you could mess it all up and forget everything you've just learned and still be fine. And the people on the ground won't even notice.
And they videotape or take pictures of you?
Yep, so there will be pictures, yes, and those will all get mailed out, and then we'll have an album available afterwards that you can access those photos. So they'll be taken when you're getting your gear on, and then just before you go over the edge as well. So.
I talked to a ton of people who did it last year, and every single one said it's the best thing they ever did.
We did have a pretty big complaint from a couple people. They wish the building was taller. And that's it. Well, that's the only negative feedback.
Because it probably got over way too soon.
Yes. So, and the time that it takes to rappel can average dependent on the person. So you can't go too fast because your safety mechanism will stop you and slow you down a little bit. But you can go fast enough that it's like, woo, okay, we're done. But they tell you, look around, take in the sights because Muscatine is absolutely beautiful from 100 feet in the air.
Yes.
And on the ground too. But it's just a completely different view. So look side to side, take your time, enjoy the process. It's
like you're up in a Ferris wheel or something.
Yeah.
Just look around, enjoy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yes, I bet it is like an amusement park ride that, what? It's over? Or Christmas Day. What?
Well, by the time you get down, your legs are like jello-y, and so then they're like, okay, stand on the ground, and you're like, whoa, I can't.
Can't do it, yes.
Yeah, so it is, it's a pretty good experience, and year 2, I'm feeling a little nervous again, but it'll be good.
But it's a wonderful event, and it's good for our community, and I think you are the one that we all need to thank, because you're the one, but you are the one who was instrumental in bringing this event to us last year. You did the research, you found them, you brought them here. Other people have joined in, and that's wonderful because that's what we do in Muscatine. We collaborate together and help one another. But you were the root cause there.
Well, I appreciate that.
Thank you for doing that.
But you're right. I mean, without
each other,
it would have never happened. There's no idea.
We have to have each other.
And to be honest, this was something that I had heard of, and it was really exciting. The big cities do it, right? Chicago's doing it, Kansas City, and then you have like Denver, and they're the ones that are bringing these organizations in. And there's always just kind of this thing. It's like Muscatine is just as awesome.
We're just as good as
we can absolutely do this. And so the chamber ambassadors last year had a group of people that were like, we need an exciting fundraiser, and I had just come back from a conference, and so I'm like, all right, let's see what we can do. And so that's kind of how the idea was definitely sparked by others. But
it just shows how when you don't have limits.
When you have a crazy idea, people will jump on board.
That's right. You can get people to jump on with you.
Yes.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Anything else we need to know? So it's going to be September 21st.
It's my Bull for Kids' Sake shirt. You're thinking July.
July 21st.
No, September 21st.
September 21st.
Yes.
I'm not going to say July again, I swear.
No.
September 21st, downtown Iowa Avenue.
I will say this, and I might get in trouble for saying this before any decisions have officially been made.
Disclaimer.
But I do want people to know that there is a very good chance that this is the last opportunity, at least for our 3 organizations bringing this here, year after year after year. It might be an event that needs to take a little break. We'll see.
You don't want to burn it out.
Right. We don't want to burn it out. But once we walk away from the contract, it's fair game. So maybe I shouldn't say that either. Nobody else can do. No, I'm just kidding. But if you're thinking, I'll do it next year,
better not.
Be sure that you're okay with missing out, because I'm not 100% sure if it will be here next year, and so I don't want anybody to feel.
So this may be your only chance. So
exactly.
Forewarned.
I don't want anybody to be shocked or say that
right.
they missed out. So just a warning, and maybe not if you all come running and say do it next year. I mean, it's not completely off the table, but I don't want anybody to miss out.
Well, yeah. So. If you're thinking this is going to be one of those 10th annual, like the block party, that may or may not happen. In which case, you might want to get on down there this year.
Right.
Still time to sign up and join and do it yourself, or help fund somebody else to do it, or just come and watch.
And ask your companies. Like H&I got behind it and rallied. I know Stanley Consultants is doing internal things too, to toss the boss and those kinds of events. So ask your company if you want to get on board. And again, if you're waiting for next year, the likelihood is
slimmer.
Slim, yes.
Yeah.
So, just make sure that if it's something you want to do, you're not missing out, because that would.
And I've heard of some employers even this year that are helping at least match what their employees are coming up with.
Right.
So if
and
you do
500,
raise 500, we'll cover the rest.
Yeah, a lot of companies, even if you're not a local foundation like H&I, your corporate will match things. Yeah. So Bayer Corporation Foundation, they can match some things. Union Tank will sponsor a match. So Principal Finance, I mean, whatever it is, there might be a lot of options within your company that now you only have to raise $500, and we'll help you with all of that paperwork and whatever it may be.
Sure.
So yeah, I would say the takeaway from Over the Edge is be shopping at Hy-Vee this month and rounding up.
There you go.
Make sure that you're partaking in that. And then if you're the person that doesn't want to go over but you love these nonprofits and you want to support somebody, find that person. Yeah. Call Jason at Special Olympics. There's, I think, 5 people on his team that are going over. They're struggling a little bit. Find out, follow Facebook too.
Write a check.
We've plugged a couple things. Write
Go
a check.
Go online.
And they're getting really creative too. So pay attention at the why, because they're sitting out sometimes and doing fundraisers there, selling some artwork, raffle items that they've had donated. So
that's great.
There's going to be lemonade stands coming up. So yeah, make sure that you're paying attention to how you can support it.
Wonderful event. Great event for great causes. Yeah. It's a win-win.
Yeah.
And good fun for the community. Just come out and watch.
Last year there were 3 Spider-Man costumes, so you never know. Bring those kids down. They might see a superhero. Yeah.
Sounds great. All right. Thank you, Lindsay. Thanks for coming. Appreciate it. Well, we're going to close out tonight. I just want to give some reminders. Next Tuesday, we're going to be out and about. We've been trying to do that once a month. We're actually going to do it twice this month. So we are going to be at the Community Block Party on Friday filming for next Tuesday. We will be showing it live on Tuesday right here on Our City. And then you can catch the highlight show. So if you don't make it out to the block party, you'll be able to catch it on Our City on Tuesday night, and it'll be replayed throughout the week. The following Tuesday, we're also going to be out and about. We're going to go to Wildcat Den to the grist mill, and we're going to take a tour of the grist mill, and you can be along with us via camera and see and hear all of the story of the grist mill. We're going to have a tour and some explanation of what's going on, and I'm really looking forward to it. I think it'll be a really nice day. Remember that Our City is shown live on Channel 5 on Muscatine Power and Water Cable Channel. It's replayed throughout the week. It's also on social media, YouTube, and Facebook. So it's all around. You can see it wherever you can find it, I'm sure, and we'll be sharing it in a variety of places. Thursday night, there is a regular city council meeting. And lastly, please save the date for the next Coffee with the Mayor. It's going to be at Lutheran Living Senior Campus at 10 a.m. on September 30th. This last month in August, we went to Sunnybrook and had coffee out there. People from the community come too. You don't have to live there, but we had a good time. Really good morning, just sitting and visiting and having coffee. And we'll be at Lutheran Living Senior Campus. It's a change to get away from Lutheran Homes to Lutheran Living Senior Campus, but I'm working on it. Hey, if I can switch September into July, I can do anything. So here we go. So we are very glad that you joined us tonight. Big thanks to our guests, Brian and Lindsay. We hope to hear and see more of them in the future. Please reach out to Brian Wright, our emergency manager, if you have any questions. Don't forget Over the Edge. And we look forward to seeing you here next week on Our City.
It's probably just for me.